So what up, guys? Back to my YouTube channel. So we're gonna do a little talking video. I got some videos of the Starlet when we went to the Christmas tree drags. I'll explain a little bit more towards the end, but I had a couple questions from a few subscribers and people that follow me on Instagram. So I'm gonna explain a couple things and clear a couple things up. So everybody wants to know who sponsored performance. I get a few questions of that. I'm Pancho Performance. My grandfather used to call me that when I was a kid, so kind of stuck with the name. The Starlet is mine. It's my personal car that I work on. It's 12A turbo. It made 686 on 32 pounds. We are currently running 28 was the last time I looked. I don't know, but I am the mechanic and the driver. Abel is the one that tunes the car, and my brother Sebastian, built, he's the one that touches the boost controller and pretty much tweaks the suspension. So the car is 12A turbo. It's full bridge. It's not semi-peripheral. It's just full bridge. It's got an 80 mil Garrett internal turbo. So I did buy it from eBay, but the internals are Garrett. It's an 8096. When we ran the 981 at 141, it had the turbo 2 transmission. We had a problem with the turbo 2 where el rabo has like a copper bushing that ripped out. So when that happened, I decided to put the Super T10 turbo that I had in it, and that didn't work out. We went to the Christmas tree drags, and my brother drove the car, because I've been telling him that we had a couple issues with the transmission, and he thought it was the driver. Since I am a rookie, it's my first year driving my car personally, and he's like, oh no, we had our doubts, you know what I mean, because there's, I'm learning too, so I did make a couple mistakes. We have it on GoPro videos, not just the transmission, but we did have but most of the time it was the transmission. And my brother drove it, and he confirmed that. He's like, yeah, it wasn't so much you, it was the transmission. So we got out of the way. So I'm gonna put the turbo 2 back in it and do a couple upgrades. So we're done for the year. My plans for the future with the car is to do tubs. It has factory tubs. They're only notched to the side, but they're not notched up. So that's why the car sits so high in the back. Do the tubs. I want to get the car certified. That's missing a couple tubes to certify 850s. Change the shocks, that the shocks are blown. That's why it gets squirrely up top, because the body just rolls. The shocks are so bad. That's pretty much it. The car, the motor wise, once you figured out the problem, because I went through 2 motors this year. One motor went on the dyno, it seized up, and then the second one we went to the King of the Starter shootout, and we felt like every pass the motor kept getting tighter and tighter, and we did that. I got 3rd place in the King of the Starter shootout. I made it to the semifinals. I got 3rd. We went to a testing tune right after that in Orlando, and I did a burnout, and then the car shut off. And when I tried to turn it over, it was chugga, but it was blank. And I took the motor out, and it went from bearings again. And that was one thing that frustrated me. I even talked to Abel, nicest, humblest tuner. And honestly, in my opinion, the best tuner, because pretty much everybody had to go through him when they first started off, and then they went on their own. And to this day, they still ask him questions. But he's like, just check the motor, I trust you guys, just check the motor. If you need help, just bring it to me. And when we found out that I had a System 1 oil filter that you could take the cartridge out and clean it, when I searched up by part number, it was for a dry sump. So what was happening is oil pressure was going in, but it had like a spring with a bowling inside, and oil pressure wouldn't come out. I had to make 160 psi for the oil pressure to come out. And you know, rotary engines, probably the most that I've seen that they make is probably like 110, maybe 120, but 160 there's no way. So it kept, so the stationary bearings kept drying out with no oil, and the motor just kept going through the motor. So we figured that out. I put a Honda oil filter straight from the dealership, and motor's been healthy ever since. You know, knock on wood, thank God. But yeah, just pretty much suspension stuff need to be upgraded, and the car will be dialed in. But yeah, so Abel is the tuner, I'm the mechanic and driver, and then my brother messes with the boost controller and suspension, and then my dad, you know, shout out to my dad. He's been a huge help with the Starlet in the beginning. He pretty much did all the fabrication, motor mount, transmission mount. He did the front struts. He did all the wiring. So shout out to my dad. So this car has a similar setup to my brother's RX-7, which he's the second, if I'm not mistaken, because nobody else has confirmed this. I know that the world record for 12A stick shift is at 864. A green Datsun in Puerto Rico has it. My brother ran 903 at 145. You know, so he's sitting second world's fastest 12A stick shift. I don't know where I sit, probably dead last with a 9.8. But has a similar setup. My fastest miles an hour was 156, so I did make more miles an hour than my brother's car. And we got it to do in Bradenton a 132 60 foot, which is the best 60 foot the car's ever done turbo. All motor, it did a 132, but I'm pretty sure the botellas back then were in good shape. It had smaller tires. But turbo, the best 60 foot was a 132.2. That was the best 60 foot, and then it trapped 156 out the back. So we're gonna put the turbo 2 back in it, like I said, and then go from there. I could send out the Super T10 and get dog engagement, but I don't really have the funds to do that right now. And honestly, the suspension and the chassis is most important, because that's my safety, and I don't play around with my safety. So I'm gonna do that. Honestly, a great season. You know, it was hard for me financially wise, because we've been only living in Florida for 11 months now. In January it'd be a full year, but we've been only living in Florida for 11 months. And you know, all the money I had saved, me and my fiance had saved, was to move. And then, you know, thank God that I was able to, you know, work hard, and my fiance, you know, to have my back and let me actually go racing, because that wasn't even the plan. I wasn't supposed to take the car out at all this year. But shout out to her, shout out to my family for having my back. Shout out to my second family, George, Daryl, Jonathan, Jose, Abel. Shout out to all of them that they've never said no to me, and they've let me use their truck, and they let me use their trailer, and they go anywhere I need to go, and they just never say no to me, you know. And they've been only knowing me for 11 months as well. Before I moved here, I didn't know them at all, and you know, they brought me in, and I'm really appreciative to them. So shout out to them. That's literally my second family. I couldn't ask for better friends. But 2023 was a great year for me in the car. A lot of learning. You know, I had fun either way. You know, this is what I like to do. But 2024, I don't know. I don't know if the car will come out next year, because you know, I'm trying to save up money. Me and my fiance want to get a house. You know, my parents might be moving down. So, you know, that's a big change as well in our lives. So I don't know if the car will come out next year. Maybe my brother's car will come out next year. We're really trying to work on that. I mean, he's doing his family stuff, which is most important. You know, I can't take that away from him. That's most important. But we are trying to get his car situated. I got the motor back there that I'm probably gonna start working on in a few days. And then my dad's car is coming down, and that car just needs wiring, and the front brake line's done, and some fuel lines that my dad bought everything. I just got to take the time to get the car down to Florida so I can do it, because my dad's busy with customers' cars and stuff, and he don't really have the time to work on his own car. So if I could do that for him, and we can take that car out next year too, that would be a bonus. But I think the Starlet would be on the back burner for now. I mean, once I put the Turbo 2 in it, which I just have to change the rabo. Once I put the Turbo 2 in it, which that's gonna be the next video too, is working on the Turbo 2 transmission. That I'm gonna change the rabo, and then I have another one that's stuck in 4th gear. So I'm gonna open that one up and check it. But once the Turbo 2 is in this car, it can go back to the track again. Like, the motor is super healthy. I bet it does want to check the tune that I put it. The motor that's in it now is way bigger than the first one, and we turned the car on the first motor, and it's making way more power with less pounds of boost. Like, I'm pretty sure the car is probably sitting at 750 right now, if we put the 32 pounds, because the motor is just way healthier. It's way bigger. I ported the housing's huge. The tapas, you know, they're perfect. I bet looked over it, and he really liked the motor that I put in it. It has cut rotors. It got all the dimes and whistles. So this motor is really nice. But yeah, once I put the Turbo 2 back in it, I have everything. I have drive shaft, and like I didn't sell anything. I didn't get rid of nothing. So I can put it in it and we can go again, no problem. But I think we're just gonna take a break, because like I said, I want to do some upgrades to the car, and families first. So do that. We got the 2 other projects, my brother and my father's car. Next year's gonna be a good year though, where, you know, we're gonna have plenty of content. We got Daryl's car that he's putting it back together. That it blew up at the Christmas tree drags too, so we had both cars down. His blew up trying to start it. That he did his personal best. Shout out to him. He did a great job. He ran 10:02 at 142, and then his blew up. Mine broke the transmission, so we're both out. But we're gonna have his car. We're gonna have George's Starlet. You know, that's gonna be a really nice car. You know, I'm thankful for them that I got to put my hands on that and do all the fuel lines, and, you know, do a few more things that he's gonna let me put my touch on, and I'm thankful for him. So that car's gonna be super nice. And then we have his brother's car, Jonathan. That's gonna be that's super nice Civic that he's gonna be taking out too. And hopefully George's dad's car, Tito, he has a Datsun that's also another nice car that should be out next year. So we're gonna have a few cars. Maybe I'll take my car to a test and tune once in a while, but major events I won't have the funds for, so it won't go nowhere. But hopefully my brother's car is done before October, and my dad's car, hopefully we can at least get it on the dyno and maybe go bring it to some test and tunes as well. But most importantly, we're gonna do family stuff, and I might vlog that. You know, there's different content. You know, my channel is mostly for racing, but honestly, you know, I'll vlog, you know, whatever, if it's fun to me. If it's not, then I probably won't. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be putting the videos from the Christmas tree drags in it, and hope you guys enjoy, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace, Happy New Year, and Merry Christmas.
por fin esta basura va donde le corresponde. A la basura. Se eliminó ya por fin. Llegó a su final.
What up, guys? So we're here in Bradenton for Cleetus's Christmas tree drag races. We got the starters out here. We got my buddy there in the Mitsubishi. We already did our first pass. We had some problems. The car was hicking me up second, third, but we ran 11.7, 153, and we got our best, our PB in 60 foot, 132.2. So we're gonna go again. My brother's gonna be driving it this time, since I told him that he would drive it. And Daryl's going up now. So vamos para allá.